Hi, I'm Old Norse specialist Dr. Jackson Crawford. I love the Onion, so a mention of Norse mythology in a headline is a little bit like getting mentioned myself, almost, it seems like. So I just wanted to mention a couple things in this recent headline. Trump defends demolition of Yggdrasill, ancient tree of life. And I'm not nitpicking so much as just giving some extra context for people who started thinking about this because they saw the Onion article. So this tree of life or world tree description that you see of Yggdrasill very often in modern texts, interesting to note that that's not there in the Eddas. The Poetic Edda and the Prose Edda are our Icelandic books from the 1200s that preserve what we know about Norse mythology. And that description, world tree or tree of life, life tree, anything like that, is never used for it. Yggdrasill actually has a much smaller role in those original sources than I think you might expect. It's mentioned in Völuspá, mostly in the context of being the place where the Norns, the three women who determine fate, live. They live somewhere near it and maintain it somehow by putting white clay on it. And also for it burning toward the end of the world at Ragnarok. And we also hear that after Ragnarok, the god named Hunir, which we know even less about than most of these characters, seems to perhaps choose a replacement for it. So that's a lot of what we actually hear in the Poetic Edda. Of course, I have a lot of videos about this elsewhere on my channel. We read that perhaps if Biden hadn't let these 4 sacred hearts eat Yggdrasill's leaves, that's a reference to the 4 deer, Durathror, Doin, etc., who are mentioned in the poem Grímnismál and the Poetic Edda, eating the leaves of the tree. I believe that's actually not explicitly said to be Yggdrasil, but said to be a different tree called Larather. So there's a few different mystical trees which might be, no, it does say it's Yggdrasil, okay. But there's a few different mythical trees. They're not all Yggdrasil. They might all be Yggdrasil because Yggdrasil actually has multiple different names, but they're not all named Yggdrasil when we hear them mentioned. All the snakes, more snakes than you've ever seen. It's funny, that's actually pretty close to a line in Grímnismál that says there are more snakes that bite its roots than any fool could ever count. Also mentioned a bit Odin using it as a gallows to sacrifice himself to himself. We don't know for sure that actually he sacrificed himself to himself on Yggdrasil. That's mentioned one time in the poem Havamal, modern Icelandic pronunciation Havamal, that he sacrificed himself on the tree whose roots no one has ever seen. It's not clear that's Yggdrasil, but it would certainly make sense if it was.